is where we're at, joined by Matt Maiocco. We talk to him every Monday, and he's here at Radio Row with us, our 49ers insider from NBC Sports Bay Area. Matt, how many Super Bowls have you covered?
The actual game, this will be my 10th. However, I was looking at it, too, like there's been another 10 Super Bowls where I was here during the week,
Yeah, like
right,
maybe a week, right.
and then got on a plane Saturday morning or Friday afternoon or whatever. So yeah, this will be the 10th Super Bowl.
Which is funny, as Derek and I were just saying, we're like, I mean, what are we? Nearly 3 hours into our first show of the 20 we'll do, and we don't anticipate like breaking down much of this game.
Yeah, who's
like,
playing again?
Yeah, I know, it's like it's almost.
I think the
us
Seahawks,
here,
and it sounds like everybody thinks they're just going to run away with this one, and I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, I think they're a better team.
They're really good, man.
I think the two best teams in the NFL were the teams that met in the NFC Championship game.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But it's just one game. So if you're doing like a 10-game series, Seattle wins, 7 of them?
I would say so.
If they're playing one game, who knows?
Well, you give Mike Vrabel 2 weeks to prepare. I think he'll throw some stuff at Sam Darnold that makes him uncomfortable. But this Seahawks team is that much better. So I kind of related it to, you remember this, the SI cover back in 1994 where it was the Cowboys, the 49ers, for the third time in a row, and it said, this is the real Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt with the Rams and Seahawks playing a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, the difference was, of course, it was the 49ers and Cowboys every year.
Yeah, of course,
it seemed that way. And then, this is a one-shot deal. Seattle is, but the way they're built, salary cap space, young roster, where they are in their contracts, and it never really works out this way.
Right.
But you look at Seattle and go, man, they're going to be good for a while.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always map out, especially in today's NFL, where there's just these huge variances. I mean, heck, I was talking to with Chris Sims right before the season, and he was saying, the Eagles are far and away the best team in the NFL. Coming off their Super Bowl last year, just the roster they had and what he felt about them. And I hadn't thought of it that way, but after he said it, I was like, oh, I think he's right. Yeah, they are a really good team, but then you never know what's going to happen. And of course, Seattle's going to have some changes, specifically offensive coordinator. I don't know what franchise he's going to, but so they're going to have some moving parts as well.
Yeah.
Dude, an old school AFC West rival. Seattle to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, how about that, dude? Jumping ship. Talking to Matt Maiocco here at Radio Row. So we talked to you. I know you'd written an article about who the Niners might interview right after Robert Saleh signed with Tennessee. And I remember we had you on that day. We talked about it. Then later that week, I want to say Kyle and John met with the media. We had John again after that. And I think you and Derek were more of the mindset that he seemed more like it was going to be Gus Bradley. Then Raheem Morris was, I think, even at that point available. Yeah. The Jim Schwartz stuff has kind of swirled now in the last week. We found out this weekend it's Raheem Morris, and Mike Silver told us Thursday he kind of thought that's how it would go if he didn't get the Arizona job.
And that was the key.
Yeah,
right?
right.
Yeah.
So how surprising is this to you? And to me, this is I've been saying Kyle needs his own Spagnuolo. He needs a guy who's not going to get another job necessarily. I don't know that that's for sure the case with Raheem, but I don't know.
Well, he might have had that guy if it were Gus Bradley.
Right. He might have.
So I think what clearly happened here was that Kyle Shanahan needed someone in his back pocket. When he hired Saleh last year, he needed a successor.
A break glass, right.
He needed, it's going to be Gus Bradley.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure he never said that to Bradley, but I'm sure it was intimated that, hey, a really good chance. And then what changed was that Raheem Morris became available. And so I think it was clear late in the week, I reported that the 49ers had interviewed Joe Woods, Gus Bradley, and Raheem Morris. Now, at that point, that fulfilled the external minority candidates that they had to interview. So at that point, they could have hired somebody at that moment. But when it went another day, then you started to see like, oh, okay, there's something here. Like he has enough information to make that call. So what are the variables? One could have been, would Jim Schwartz become somebody that the Browns would open it up and say, you guys, have at it. You guys can interview him. I didn't think that'd be the case because I think Kyle likes to stick with what he knows. And I think where the team is, it's really important that he knows what he'd be getting into. And Jim Schwartz is kind of known as a different personality, so
Right.
I don't think he wanted to take that risk of going somewhere he didn't know where exactly he was going. And so then the other part was, well, Raheem Morris is a candidate for the Arizona Cardinals job, and so they had to wait on that. Very similar to a year ago when Saleh was the guy. He was the guy all along, but he was still up for the Raiders job and the Jacksonville job, and it wasn't until those fell through that they could go ahead and finalize it.
Talking to Matt Maiocco here at Radio Row. So Roger Goodell just got done with his league presser, just talking about what's going on this upcoming season. And there's going to be 9 international games coming?
9, yeah.
Wow. So
Nine times.
there's going to be one in Mexico City and one in Brazil. Do you believe the 49ers could be overseas this season?
Yes. I would say it's a certainty.
Okay.
The 49ers will play at least
Oh.
one international game.
You think it's on the table for 2?
Oh, you said overseas. Okay, I meant okay. So
International
obviously,
game.
Yeah.
Mexico City wouldn't be overseas.
Okay.
But I would say that there's some rumblings out there. The Rams have already been assigned to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Dude.
I think. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well,
Finish your thought. I want to get into that in a minute.
I think the Rams would prefer to play the 49ers in some place other than SoFi Stadium.
Okay.
So this has been my thought for a while, and when they talked about this a couple of years ago, my thought was, if it's going to be an Australian game, it probably has to be a really early season game too, Brazil, week 1.
Yeah, my guess would be whatever, the Thursday or Friday before the season starts.
Right. So
Interesting.
Or before the first Sunday of the season.
You mean like the way they've played the Brazil game the last 2 years? So the way it would have to happen is, I believe it would have to be to make it work 2 West Coast teams. Because it's already, you're talking like a 16-hour flight or a 17-hour flight. You cross the international date line, right? So you got to get there in that week before.
Hold on, slow down. I'm taking notes here.
To get acclimated. To play the game in prime time here on a Thursday. So what it is you subtract, I think that time of year, you subtract 5 hours, but it's tomorrow. So to play the game at 5 p.m. here on a Thursday, they'd have to play it at noon there or something like that, or in the afternoon on a Friday afternoon, a 1 o'clock game, maybe a little bit later here. But then you'd have to fly back, and you gain the day back when you get back.
Yeah.
So it's just, to me, it's got to be 2 West Coast teams. You can't even fly direct to Australia currently as a customer from anywhere but Dallas or LA or San Francisco. So, I feel like I think it's got to be Niners, Chargers, Seahawks, even Broncos, maybe somebody like that. But they don't play the West next year. They play the,
so there we go.
There you go.
Okay, so I think that's a distinct possibility. Okay. After hearing your case, I'm going to more than distinct possibility.
Okay.
I think that's on the table.
And then remember, that's the Rams home game. The 49ers have 9 home games this season. I think they're going to play another international game.
Wow.
And I would think, because they will 49ers, I don't think the NFL would give the 49ers 9 games at Levi Stadium. What would that be? 7 games on the road and then a neutral site game. So I think that probably London would be out, because you're talking about another huge trip. I would think Mexico City would be kind of low impact. So my guess would be 49ers play 2 regular season international games, and one of them being in Mexico City, and the other one, as you talked about, Melbourne makes tons of sense.
Yeah, they could play that game on a Friday at 1 p.m. local time, and it would be a 6 p.m. kick here on Thursday night or something like that, which would be just wild.
Yeah.
So how many different? So is that the only new place next year?
Well, let's see. There's
Australia.
Melbourne, Paris.
Oh, that's right, Paris.
Madrid, Munich. Rio's not new.
They haven't done Madrid, though, have they?
I don't think.
No,
they did this past year, I believe.
Because they did Munich also, I know, a few years ago.
Yeah.
They've done that one. Brady played there.
But Paris is new. Right?
Paris is brand new. That's going to be the
Saints, and
the home of the Saints.
Yeah.
That's incredible. 9 international games.
Yeah, and then obviously the goal for the NFL is to get it up to 16 games
a week.
season.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And have every team play 1 international game. And I think that's coming. This is this is a pretty big step in that direction.
I
I
would
mean,
say
it could
so.
be as soon as next year, right?
Right.
And then that way, it's kind of a balanced schedule too. With a 17-game schedule, each team would play 8 games in their home stadium, 8 games in a road stadium, and then 1 game internationally.
So do you think – I know that there's been a rumor for a long time that maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars would move to London. Do you think that's a possibility anymore, or they just love the idea of a teams going to overseas or international?
I think I don't see that ever happening.
Yeah.
It's way too difficult. There's so many logistical issues that brings about. So many, salary cap issues, pay. I just don't see it. It would be a severe disadvantage for a team to be stationed in Jacksonville, and just think about the air miles that team would have to travel every year.
Right.
Would they have to?
Your division would be 8 hours away
Yeah.
at minimum.
Yeah.
To go to the eastern, wherever you're going.
And then what would they do? Like, would that lower or lessen the pool of players who would want to go there as a free agent?
That would hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I want my parents to be able to fly in and watch my
exactly.
games. And so would they have to do like salary cap benefits for that? I don't see it happening. I think a 16 game or 16 games internationally per season, one team playing every team playing 1 game internationally. I think that solves that issue and also kind of spreads the wealth. It's not so London centric. It's Melbourne, it's London, it's Mexico City, it's Madrid, it's Munich, it's Paris, it's Rio.
Right.
Well, and this isn't, Matt, like it's not like the Tampa Bay Rays being a small market team. Business is booming in the NFL.
Yeah.
The new salary cap came out, or they announced what it will be. The list of how it's grown is really what's incredible. You go back 10 years to 2016, 155.27. It's projected this year 301.2 to 305.7. It's incredible, and it's TV and gambling and all that stuff that's come in. I want to ask you, though, about the focus of the offseason in terms of the league in and of itself. Is there a rule that will be talked about a lot this offseason? Is it the added game to the schedule? How far away from the 18-game schedule are we? Like last year, the tush push was a thing. You get, video replay on PI becomes a thing. I can't think of anything this year. Overtime rules seem to be figured out. Kickoff seems to be figured out.
Yeah, I guess maybe expanding replay. Make it hits to the head.
Yeah.
Hip drop tackles, quarterback. A lot of times face mask, or it might be just expanding replay, which would be talked about. Maybe more replay assist, where it's clear and obvious, and it's just like the guy in the booth or somebody in New York,
The sky judge or whatever they say now.
whatever.
Video assist.
A guy in a with a bank of monitors, radios into the ref and says, "Hey, throw a flag because it was clear that defensive lineman clubbed the quarterback in the head," or, "Hey, pick up that flag. That wasn't a, whatever, roughing the penalty,
Right.
roughing the passer." My guess is they would look to expand it. They have this technology. There's no reason for there to be a clear and obvious call or no call that's wrong anymore. There's just no reason for it.
Last one for you. I'm assuming you've watched all of Rise of the 49ers, or you
I
watched?
haven't. I saw the premiere, and I watched the 2 last night.
Okay.
But I know how it ends.
Yeah.
The 49ers end up winning 5 Lombardi
Whoa,
trophies. Oh,
spoiler,
okay.
jeez. Yeah, earlier today, my dad's like, "I'm not gonna spoil the ending for you." I'm like, "Spoil the ending."
Yeah, I know. It's like Passion of the Christ. I
You
know
got-
what happens.
You got
dude. Yeah.
you got Wikipedia. I mean, man, I'm an NFL films junkie. I've watched it all from the Football Lives to America's Games, and all this stuff is intriguing. I understand, if you're a 49ers fan or a historian, you want to watch all this stuff. But is there anything in this so far that you are like, "Whoa, that's groundbreaking"? Like, I would have much preferred to see, and I know this is not going to happen, but Joe Montana and Steve Young sitting down together and talking about the old days.
This your chance to crap on the filmmakers in the dynasty.
No. Look. I have a ton of respect.
Nobody else going to give you this chance but us.
yeah.
dude, yeah.
Come on, Matt.
Okay, let me tell you all the beefs I had. No.
The guy that made it, Ken Rogers, is fantastic with NFL films. But I just feel like we're in this era now. We get a lot of these documentaries where we know all this stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But it's always like the compilation of seeing it all together in one place.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I'll be surprised at anything, or maybe not even learn anything I didn't already know. But just seeing it all together and packaged the way it is, it's a beautiful looking film. I mean, the shots in the Presidio, how they're doing the interviews. I mean, I know they spent so much time. They spent like 6 or 8 hours interviewing these guys, and it's all of Z-Man's photography and everything else. So it's beautifully done. Steve has talked a lot about how they had fun in the quarterback meeting room. He and Joe never had any issues. They never had Steve will always say this, never had a crossword, never had anything, but he said but it was honestly so awkward.
Yeah.
It was just awkward. And I've never really heard Joe talk too much about that time, other than he wasn't there to be a mentor. He was there to keep his job, and he felt like he was, the better quarterback. And I know he says it flat out in this documentary. I was better than him. And he was. He was Joe Montana.
Yeah.
So I've never really heard it from Joe's perspective, other than he's viewed Steve as a competitor. He viewed him very much in the same light that he viewed the opposing team,
Right.
because the opposing team was trying to keep him off the field, and he viewed Steve as, hey, you're trying to take my job, you're trying to keep me off the field. So I wouldn't expect anything less, because that's what makes those guys great.
I can't. Go ahead.
Though these guys they're built and they're constructed differently than normal human beings.
Yeah.
And it's what makes them great. Quick story.
Yeah,
I mean, I could tell
please.
the same story about
Yeah.
like Jerry Rice, but I remember this was a couple of years ago in Tahoe. I was going to do an interview with Larry Fitzgerald, and it was after his practice round. And someone came over and said, hey, Larry will come over and talk to you after he's done on the practice range. And I thought, oh, okay, that's cool. And so, I was waiting 10 minutes, 15, 30, 45, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. All he's doing is hitting golf balls. And I'm thinking, holy cow, that's what makes these guys great.
Yeah.
Like they're you and I. Well, I shouldn't speak for you, but
No, you should.
I would.
Should. We're on the same boat as. It's not. It's a different.
I would
we
get
don't
so
click the same
bored.
way. Yeah.
I would be like, I've done it. I'm
meticulous. Yeah.
But
That's my life.
They're driven in a way that I certainly can't relate to.
Yeah.
And it's what makes these guys who are great, and what makes them great.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Jerry's the same way. Jerry is
focused.
probably beyond even Larry Fitzgerald. Well, as a player, and it's probably the maniacal work habits.
I read an article about. I've told them about it. J.J. Watt in Men's Health one time. Same thing. How he started self-imposing 3 days in the off season, and then he had to figure out how to get more fuel. And it was really about how he eats 22 chicken breasts a day and 8 avocados, and same with Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
It was he'd eat a 7,000 calorie omelet and get in the pool. But it's they would do that for 10 hours a day, and know that that's the level they have to be at, and it's why they're Hall of Famers and
absolutely
and all-time greats.
And that's why I'm sitting here talking to you guys.
That's why you are, on a Monday night at Radio Row.
It's the good life.
At least
man.
we're
Come
close
on.
to home. You know
That's
what I mean?
why the frozen Snicker bars came through, and I jumped up, and that was my exercise running over to get
Dude,
one.
they got a whole little frozen Snicker bar booth over there.
Yeah, so I'm
looking good.
telling you.
Looks pretty good.
Before we let you go, last thing, Matt.
there it is right there.
When you're not with us, you're doing you're popping around doing other hits.
Yeah, a little bit, but we got the setup over there, so we'll be doing a bunch of interviews as well. But
As I said to Derek, Matt Maiocco, some exclusive.
Well, let's be honest.
I was
mean,
what's he doing? He's talking to them
yeah.
too. What are we?
I mean,
what are we doing?
Matt goes from show to show, but only one show way back in the day. Only one host makes a theme song for Matt
Yeah,
Maiocco.
that's
That is true.
That's-
Only one
that
has a
is
theme
very
song
true.
for
And
Matt.
Matt
Maiocco.
hates it.
I was over there, with Bree and the 49ers people.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
was
right. I saw
helping
you.
them out.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're family. They're good.
They are.
I'll probably do that tomorrow too because she asked me so.
Oh, she did ask you.
Yeah, she
I
did.
told her not to ask you. I was like, he's not going to
I
get
demanded it.
I'll tell you this: when I got here, I came around the corner, like coming in this entrance here, and there's a big couch sitting here, and I could see Larry Krueger was holding up his video camera. He was doing a hit, and I thought, dude, it's Radio Row. Who does Krug have? I come around the corner, and it's Derek that he's talking to.
It's going to be a rough night on Niners Nightly, I tell you that.
I was like, boy, who's that? What, Tim couldn't do it, so we
Yeah.
got Derek. Matt,
That'll get him some clicks.
you were here already.
All right, Matt.
You were here already, so
That's
thanks
enough
for
of you.
Thanks for sitting down for a while.
All right,
Matt,
I'm going to go book my flight to Melbourne.
Matt Maiocco, he's our 49ers insider, and apparently everybody else is too. We do it with him every Monday right here on Dirty Work. We'll take a quick break. When we come on back, we got plenty more to come with you until 6 o'clock tonight when Krug is coming up with Niners Nightly. When we come back, everyone wants a Kyle Shanahan when it comes to head coach.